guys, welcome to another World Cup team preview series, and in today's episode I'll be talking about the Black Stars, Ghana. That's right, Ghana, they are back in the World Cup, the team that keeps on humiliating the USA and then reached all the way to almost a quarterfinal, or actually semi-final of the World Cup. And obviously, if you like these sort of World Cup team previews videos, why not hit the like button on this video and obviously subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of these World Cup team preview videos that are coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And because it's Monday, cheers! Let's go on with the video. So Ghana are part of the African Confederation known as CAF basically, and their nickname is the Black Stars. It's found in their flag, as you can see on the crest, the emblem basically, and obviously that's the nickname of the team, Black Stars. Now a little bit of a fun fact for you about Ghana is that Ghana were the only African team to reach the knockout stage at the 2010 World Cup, which was in South Africa. The first and only so far World Cup that is hosted in Africa, and there were actually 6 African teams at that World Cup. It was South Africa, Algeria, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. I believe those were the 6. All of them were out by the group stage, but Ghana literally came one kick away from reaching the World Cup semi-finals in 2010. We all know how that's going to happen. I'll talk a little bit more about why a little later on. But Ghana have appeared in 3 previous World Cups. 2006 was their first, last 16. 2010, well, we know about that. And 2014, a bit of a not so good tournament for them. But now they are back after missing out on 2018. So let's see how Ghana look and how they fared throughout their qualifying and how they got to this World Cup. So Ghana actually qualified as one of the 5 playoff winners from Africa, and they were in a second round group that contained South Africa, Ethiopia, and Zimbabwe. And obviously it was practically neck and neck between Ghana and South Africa, and they both played on the final day. South Africa were on top, 3 points above Ghana. So if Ghana did not win that game, Ghana would not be in this World Cup. However, a very controversial, I'll just say that, controversial penalty was awarded to Ghana, in which Ghana scored. They won the game 1-0, and because the sort of criteria to break teams that are on the same number of points is by the number of goals that they scored, Ghana scored 7 goals, South Africa only scored 6. The goal difference was also the same. And so that actually meant that Ghana qualified for the 3rd round, the final round of African qualifying, by 1 goal. And maybe that penalty that they controversially were given played a big part in that. And then, when they got to the playoff, they were paired and drawn against the big rivals, Nigeria. So we had a very big derby between Ghana and Nigeria. 2 very big West African teams actually, and the first leg in Ghana ended in a 0-0 draw. In the second leg, Ghana were up against it in Nigeria, but Ghana scored quite early on, and then Nigeria equalized, and then that was it. That was full time. And so what happened? Well, away goals do count in World Cup qualifying, and because Ghana scored 1 goal, 1 away goal in this tie, because Nigeria did not score any away goals or won that second leg, it meant that both games ended in a draw. But because Ghana scored that 1 away goal, Ghana were in the World Cup because of away goals. So not only did Ghana in a way controversially were given a penalty and won the group by basically scoring 1 goal more than South Africa, and then the shithousery is that they beat Nigeria on away goals by 1 goal. 1 goal, that was all it took for Ghana to qualify for this World Cup. And so Yeah, Ghana, that's how they do it. They, in a way, I'll probably call this the most shithousery way of qualifying for the World Cup. Literally anything that could have went against them went for them. And thankfully now they're in the World Cup so they can prepare for the World Cup. So who's going to be preparing the squad for them? So the head coach or the manager of the Ghana team is Otto Addo, who was actually a former player of theirs. He only just recently came in. He came in for the purpose of that playoff against Nigeria, and this was because Ghana were put in an absolute spliff by Comoros in the Africa Cup of Nations just about like 2-3 months prior to that tie against Nigeria. And Otto Addo, along with surprisingly Chris Hughton as well, managed to get this Ghana team a little bit of faith, a little bit of hope, and qualify them for the World Cup. So Otto Addo will be the man that will be leading his countrymen into this World Cup as the head coach. Now the star players of this Ghana team include obviously the Ayew brothers, Andre Ayew and Jordan Ayew. Other players including Mohamed Kudus, who, kudos to him, see the pun there, plays for Ajax and is probably one of the most promising Ghanaian footballers that are out there at this moment in time. Alongside, you have two players that are coming in for the first time for this national team. Yes, there's a little bit of controversy, not really controversy, but a little bit of scouting, giving players with Ghanaian heritage the chance to play for the Ghanaian national team. And players such as Tariq Lamptey and Inaki Williams decided to accept the call-up for the Ghanaian national team. And so these are some of Ghana's star players. Obviously they have a lot more star players, but these are some of the names that Ghana will be hoping can deliver them one step further to a World Cup semi-final. Let's see how they play. How Ghana usually sets themselves up for these sort of World Cup matches. They played in a 4-1-2-1-2 formation. Basically, they have a defensive midfielder and a center attacking midfielder. So they basically have a diamond in the midfield, and obviously that attacking midfielder is the one that helps supply in the balls for the two Ayew brothers or whoever is playing as the two up top for them. Obviously, they play with a back four, and that back four usually stays as the back four. None of the wing backs really push on. And so some of the strengths of this Ghana team is actually that defensive structure whereby they aren't really attacking, or at least the wing backs aren't attacking. So they do have that sort of four players at the back staying there and defending for their lives for this Ghana team. Alongside that, they have that midfield protection with that pivot in the midfield, the defensive midfielder, who is able to provide that sort of defensive structure and that solidity and that protection from the midfield, so that it is quite difficult to break this Ghanaian team down. However, there are some weaknesses to this Ghana team. One is the attacking threat. Let's be honest, the two Ayew brothers aren't the greatest, but they do show up for the national team. But actually, out of all of the 5 African teams that have qualified for this World Cup, Ghana scored the fewest goals out of any of the African teams, whereby they only scored in 8 qualifying matches that they went through. 8. They scored 8 goals in 8 games. That's a goal per game, whereas every other African team that did qualify for this World Cup, they scored at least 1.2 or more goals than the amount that Ghana did. So Ghana are that really attacking in terms of the threat level, and alongside that they don't really have a lot of creativity on the wide areas because the fullbacks aren't really as attacking. They don't really offer much width, whereby the two midfielders, they try to supplement the attack, but then that kind of leaves that sort of space in front of the defense and behind the attack that might be exposed. So, they're either going to sacrifice creativity for defensive solidity and play that sort of counter-attacking football? Or would they attack teams but leave space in behind that attacking five-some? Who knows? And this is one of the things that Ghana will be hoping that they can try to supplement in terms of being a lot more creative on the ball and offering a lot more goals going forward. Let's see how they do in their group. So Ghana are in Group H for this World Cup, and because they're in Group H, they are playing on the final sort of match day of the World Cup group round basically, and they actually begin their campaign on Thursday the 24th of November at 7 p.m. local time, where they will be up against Cristiano Ronaldo's and Fernando Santos, who's their manager, Portugal. They'll be up against Portugal, who was actually the last team that Ghana played in their final match at the previous World Cup they were in 2014. They lost that match 2-1. However, they hope to have some revenge on that. And then on Monday, the 28th of November, 4 p.m. local time in Qatar, it will be Ghana up against South Korea. And then the final game of Group H for Ghana is on Friday, the 2nd of December, 6 p.m. local time, against, you guessed it, one of the teams that has a sort of history with Ghana, Uruguay, who were actually the team that knocked Ghana out in the 2010 World Cup quarterfinal, in which Luis Suarez, who is playing at his last World Cup, handball when the ball was practically going to be scored, and then a former Ghanaian legend, Asamoah Gyan, missed a penalty by hitting the crossbar, and then it went to penalties, and Ghana lost on penalties, and Uruguay made the semi-final, and Ghana didn't. So there's a lot of history between Ghana and Uruguay that will be very, very interesting to watch at this World Cup. So will Ghana be able to take a lot of revenge on the teams that they have fallen in the past, but can they make their future brighter at this World Cup? Well, time will tell. So that's it for the team preview for Ghana for this World Cup 2022 team preview series. Now, if you like these sort of videos, why not hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel, and also ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of these World Cup team previews that are coming up on this channel. And actually, tomorrow, the 4th of October, is my birthday. I'll be turning 24, so just a little bit of a thing for you guys to know that. And then the next episode, which will be on Wednesday, the 5th of October, we'll be talking about Iran. Yes, that's right, Iran for this World Cup team preview series. And so that would be quite an interesting watch. And obviously for you England fans, it will be something to watch. Oh, also the American and the Welsh fans as well. So don't miss that episode out on the 5th of October, Wednesday. And so until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.